America and Iran tensions are once again escalating to a critical level. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed a new executive order threatening to impose additional tariffs on countries that continue to trade with Iran. This move has raised serious concerns not only in Tehran, but also among major global trade partners, including China, Turkey, Iraq, and several Middle Eastern nations. The decision has triggered fresh uncertainty across diplomatic circles, global markets, and the international energy sector. According to the executive order, any country that directly or indirectly purchases oil, petroleum products, petrochemicals, or services from Iran could face new import tariffs when trading with the United States. While the order does not specify an exact tariff rate, it uses 25% as an example. This means the U.S. administration has the flexibility to increase or decrease the tariff depending on political and strategic considerations. This approach gives Washington significant economic leverage over countries that maintain trade relations with Tehran. President Trump has not issued a direct public statement on the order itself. However, speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, he reiterated his firm position that Iran must never be allowed to obtain nuclear weapons. Trump warned that if Iran fails to reach a deal, the consequences would be very steep. He also stated that Iran appears eager to make a deal, but emphasized that the United States would not compromise on its national security or the safety of its allies. These developments come shortly after high-level talks between U.S. and Iranian officials were held in Oman. The meetings followed weeks of escalating rhetoric and mutual threats from both sides. The American delegation was led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. Iran was represented by Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Oman's foreign minister, who acted as mediator, described the talks as useful, saying they helped clarify the positions of both sides and identify possible areas for progress. In an official statement, the White House said the executive order reaffirms the ongoing national emergency with respect to Iran. The statement accused Iran of pursuing nuclear capabilities, developing ballistic missiles, supporting terrorism, and destabilizing the Middle East. It added that these actions pose a threat to American security, allies, and regional stability. The White House also noted that the president retains the authority to modify the order if circumstances change. On the same day, the U.S. State Department announced additional sanctions targeting 15 entities accused of trading in Iranian-origin crude oil, petroleum products, and petrochemicals. These sanctions are in addition to the already extensive restrictions imposed on Iran's economy, particularly its oil exports, shipping industry, and banking sector. Iran has not issued an immediate response to either the executive order or the new sanctions. Tehran continues to insist that its nuclear program is entirely peaceful. Iranian officials maintain that uranium enrichment is conducted solely for civilian purposes, including electricity generation and medical research. Iran has repeatedly accused the United States of violating international agreements, pointing to Washington's withdrawal from the 2015 nuclear deal during Trump's first term. Under that agreement, Iran was restricted from enriching uranium beyond 3.67% purity and was barred from enrichment activities at its Fordo facility for 15 years. After the U.S. withdrew from the deal in 2018 and reimposed sanctions, Iran gradually began breaching several of the agreement's restrictions, particularly those related to uranium enrichment. Last year, the United Nations reinstated economic and military sanctions after the UK, France, and Germany accused Iran of continued nuclear escalation and lack of cooperation. Despite sanctions, more than 100 countries continue to trade with Iran. China remains Iran's largest trading partner. In the year leading up to October 2025, Beijing imported more than $14 billion worth of Iranian goods. Iraq follows closely, importing more than $10.5 billion in products. Iran also counts Turkey and the United Arab Emirates as its key trade partners, with exports to Turkey rising sharply over the past year. If the U.S. enforces these tariffs, analysts warn of serious consequences for global trade, oil markets, and regional economies. Alongside economic pressure, the United States has significantly increased its military presence in the Middle East. President Trump has described this buildup as a massive armada. He has stated that military action remains an option if Iran refuses to reach a deal on its nuclear program. These statements have fueled fears of a potential conflict, although experts suggest that Washington may prefer limited strikes or sustained pressure rather than a full-scale war. Meanwhile, human rights groups have raised concerns over Iran's recent crackdown on nationwide anti-government protests. Reports suggest that thousands may have been killed, although the full extent of the violence remains unclear due to internet restrictions imposed by Iranian authorities. The U.S. has cited these developments as further justification for maintaining pressure on Tehran. As talks in Oman continue and another meeting is expected next week, the world is